No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Eminence, Cardinal Turkson, Your Excellency, Bishop Sanchez Sorondo, Your Excellency, Monsignor Vigano, President Zamagni, and distinguished colleagues. It is a great honor to be here with you at the Pontifical Academy of Social Sciences. I would like to thank His Eminence Cardinal Turkson, His Excellency Bishop Sanchez Sorondo, and President Zamagni for this invitation, and His Holiness Pope Francis for the appointment as a member of the Academy. Today's event is an opportunity to reflect on the role families have in strengthening our social bonds, and to discuss what all of us, starting with governments, can do to support them. Our societies are living through an age of extreme uncertainty. The COVID-19 pandemic is increasingly under control in many countries thanks to the extensive vaccination campaigns, but in many countries it's not under control. They didn't have the chance to vaccinate. And in any way, it's not over and continues to take a heavy human and economic toll. The war in Ukraine has caused enormous losses and goes on. The death of thousands of innocent civilians, the displacement of millions of people, the destruction of large portions of this country. Its indirect consequences reverberate widely. A spike in energy costs, disruptions to supply chains, the risk of military spillovers elsewhere in the region, and many other risks that we feel are there, even though we are not yet properly defined. We now face the threat of a catastrophic food crisis, especially in some of the world's poorest regions, which already suffer from inadequate access, they said, inadequate access to COVID-19 vaccines. In the rich world, too, these events risk hitting families the hardest, in particular, the most vulnerable ones. Advanced economies must continue to support financially the Ukrainian government and its people at this time of need. We must also strengthen the global safety net for low-income countries, especially through multilateral institutions such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. At home, too, we must take steps to reduce uncertainty for the poorest. This is what we've done in Italy over the last year, and what we strive to continue doing in the future. The pandemic has caused a sharp increase in poverty, especially among families. The poverty rate among those under the age of 18 has risen by nearly 3 percentage points between 2019 and 2021 to 14.2%. In order to help families, the Italian government has taken several steps, including the creation of so-called assegno unico, a parental allowance that merges multiple benefits into one. It is a universal measure, granting relief of 600 euros to all families with children, and provides higher benefits for those with children with disabilities. The government is aware of the new economic challenges facing families, particularly the rising cost of living. Inflation rate has hit 6.7% in Italy, and it's the highest rate since 1991. For this reason, we cut fuel duty and protected 5.2 million families from recent rises in energy bills. In other words, they pay, and it's going to be more than 5.2, by the way, shortly. We will increase this number by another million, And basically, these families pay what they used to pay before the increase in prices. And we've restricted this, we targeted this support to the poorest. And of course, we are ready to do more to defend the purchasing power of our citizens, while at the same time preserving the stability of public finance, because that's another danger. And that's why it's so difficult now, because if we expand the budget deficit as it should be, as it would be needed, we then, in a few months, we find ourselves with a huge debt on top of what is already, which is already very high. So we have to fight, we really have to navigate, and we have to have the help of the European Union on this. Clearly, we're not asking for grants money from the European Union, because I don't think that would be right for others that have to pay taxes in order to finance these grants. We're actually asking them to issue debt rather than having single countries issuing debt. That's the only thing we're asking, and we are discussing this actively. I don't think there is much resistance. We will have the opportunity to discuss this in the next European Council at the end of May. The roots of uncertainty, however, go deeper than COVID-19 and war. And Italy, even before the pandemic, ever fewer families felt confident about having children. And this trend has only become worse. Italy's population has shrunk continuously since 2014, losing more than 1.3 million residents. In 2021, just under 400,000 children were born. I was just looking at numbers of students in our schools in about 3 or 4 year times, 2027, and we're going to have about 100,000 students less than we have today. And so I was saying, in 2021, just under 400,000 children were born, and this is the lowest number in the history of our republic. 10 years ago, the same number was 540,000. Having a child is a personal choice, and I'm certainly aware that there are different theories here. There is also a cultural theory that basically suggests that the choice of having a child depends on what sort of cultural inheritance or legacy you are sharing with. But I really think in simpler ways, and I think it depends on the ability of young people to plan their future with confidence. And why do I say so? Because one thinks, I mean, it's not a surprise. Poverty in general restricts what the economists call the opportunity set. In other words, in plainer words, it does restrict the possible choices that one individual can take. So the choice to having a family is also a major choice in our lifetime, and it could be restricted by poverty. So the government can play a very important role in ensuring that those who want to have children can do so. For example, it must put young people in the position of having a home and a secure job. In Italy, we are providing substantial financial help for young people who buy their first home. And more specifically, the state guarantees a large portion, I think it's 80 or 90% of their mortgage, and provides them with a generous tax breaks. We are also giving support to young people with low incomes to pay their rent. And these are only initial steps, surprisingly initial, because one wonders why these things haven't been done before, and others must follow. The Family Act was approved by Parliament earlier this month and commits us to strengthening those measures further. Families also need reliable welfare services. And this is a priority of Italy's National Recovery and Resilience Plan, the one that was financed by the European Union, as you know. Over the next 5 years, we will create 230,000 places in nurseries and kindergartens. We've also strengthened parental leave to support working parents. In particular, we want to help young women who too often are forced to give up their careers after giving birth to a child. Excuse me. At the end of last year, we made permanent a 10-day mandatory paid paternity leave. And we've introduced tax breaks for women returning to work from maternity leave. Fighting poverty, however, also requires greater investment in education, a key driver of social mobility. Italy's National Recovery and Resilience Plan includes investment plans worth around 1.3 billion euros to renovate or build schools, canteens, and gyms. With the Family Act, we help families pay for educational activities for their children, including music and sports. With this recovery and resilience plans, just I mentioned 3 times in about 2 minutes. So this shows how important it's been, this plan, for Italy. With this plan, we also invest 1.5 billion euros in student benefits, such as scholarships and student housing. In recent weeks, Italian families have shown once again their generosity by welcoming into their homes those fleeing the war in Ukraine. More than 100,000 people, refugees, have come to Italy, mostly, I think it's 90%, women and children. And I would like to thank all citizens who've helped refugees, as well as all the volunteers. It's been an extraordinary participation of what we call the third sector in Italy, namely volunteers. The government must support such a display of love and solidarity. We've allocated more than €500 million for now in aid for those who come to Italy, and a further €5 million to the National Fund for Migration Policies. We also have and are also planning further money for the very young children, unaccompanied, we call it unaccompanied minors. And unfortunately, Ukraine, even before the war, was a country where the number of orphans was immensely higher than any borrowing country. We also donated goods to Ukraine and neighboring countries such as Poland and Moldova, and funds to humanitarian organizations such as UNICEF and the Red Cross. Most of us have learned about love, generosity, solidarity in our families. We did so thanks to our parents, our siblings, our grandparents. And we passed on these lessons to our children and grandchildren. A stronger family is essential for a fairer, more cohesive, more supportive society, especially at the time of crisis. And Italy's government is determined to support families and will continue to do so in the future. Thank you. Thank you.